What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. Today is Tuesday, October 23rd, 2018, just in case you didn't know what year it was. I am your host and player one, Andrew, and with me is my co-host and player two, Alpha Stoutland.
What's up, guys? Alpha Stoutland here.
What is up, indeed? Yeah, last week was pretty fun. We had Papa Geno's with us.
Yeah, dude.
Now, he said it was okay for me to say this, so he might be joining us on and off here and there, which is really exciting. He wasn't able to make it today, but that doesn't mean he won't be able to make it next week, but we'll see. He doesn't really know too far in advance what his schedule is, so if he could pop on, he will. If he can't, he won't. So today it's just me and Alpha. So, Alpha, what have you been up to this week?
Honestly, not a lot. Still inventory time at work. It finally is going to be wrapped up Thursday, but we've just been counting at work. And just besides working on the final Shantae video, I haven't really been doing a whole lot in like gaming stuff. So again, don't have a whole lot to talk about this week. So hopefully I'll have some other stuff to talk about in the next few weeks because I'll be working on some different videos. But for now, it's just kind of work.
Now, when you record for your videos, you do it at the church?
I do.
Okay. It must be
for the most part. Usually if it's like narration, I can sometimes do that at the house. It just depends on what it is. But if it's like webcam, yeah, just because of the nice white background and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
You don't have a nice white background in your house?
Yeah, I don't. If my room had better lighting, I would do it there. But until we get some lights put in, I'll stick to this.
Okay, cool. For me, really not much. I had a lot of hours at work. Has anything else been going on? I mean, I guess we kind of jump into the gaming news because what I've been up to is also related to that. In Pokemon Go, they have the Halloween special event thing where now they have, was it Drifloon and Stunky are now available.
Okay.
Giratina is going to appear in raid battles.
Ooh.
And there's a research task, which is along the lines of the one that had Mew and Celebi, but I'm guessing it's Spiritomb because apparently the story behind it is that Professor Willow, which is the professor in the game, came across some kind of stone, and mysterious things have been happening in his lab. And not only that, but the illustration they used for the event has Spiritomb in it, so I'm like, it's got to be Spiritomb. So it sounds like Spiritomb is going to be a special, like a unique Pokemon, like Mew and Celebi are, in the sense where you only get one. That's my guess for that.
Cool.
Which is cool. My cousin and I have been like helping each other. He's going to a raid now. He just texted me before, and he's like, "Can I use your account for a Giratina raid?" Because, he has an iPad, so he opens up my account on the iPad. So I get to participate in the raid, and so I help him whatever he's battling with. So I'm like, yes, please. So hopefully he gets me Giratina, and I'm also gonna trade. I also have a trade set up with him, so he might do that, and I might get a shiny Magikarp out of that, which I'm excited.
Sweet.
So they had that community day the other day, and it was Beldum.
I saw that on Instagram. Yep.
I wound up getting 5 shiny Beldums.
Woo!
So that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pokemon Go. Been playing that, like always. I'm trying to hatch a Riolu, because I think it's the only way you could get Riolu and Lucario, and I believe it's in the 10-kilometer eggs, so I'm just trying to... I mean, you can't control which egg you get unless people report which Pokestop is handing out which eggs. I think that it's kind of like that. So I think right now I have maybe 4 10-kilometer eggs on my being, or whatever you want to refer to yourself as the player. So I'm hoping one of them hatches into Riolu. Other than that, I got Shinx is also available, I believe, in 10-kilometer eggs, but it's also available in raids. And thankfully, it's a 1-tier raid, so they're really weak. You can actually take them on by yourself, and you don't need a bunch of people to help you.
Cool.
So I caught a few Shinx already, and now I really want Riolu, because, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, because Lucario's a beast. Yeah.
I also noticed that a lot of the raids that are available right now, the regular Pokemon, I guess, between tiers 1 and 4 because 5 is always legendary. It seems like they're all the Pokemon that get third evolutions in Gen 4. So my assumption is they're kind of preparing people to get those Pokemon and candies. So I've seen Porygon, I've seen Tangela, I've seen Lickitung. Yeah, yep. I've seen Lickitung. Probably a couple of others off the top of my head. I forgot.
Probably Piloswine, Electabuzz,
yeah,
Magmar.
I've seen Piloswine. Is it Pilo or Pillow?
I always called it Pillow, but the anime says Pilo. But
yeah, maybe you're right because I know the first form is Swinub, so maybe it is Piloswine.
I don't know where the Pilo comes from though. Maybe it's like some kind of art. I don't know. But I always called it Piloswine too. But
I don't know.
There's
probably someone listening who's like, "It's Pilo because of this, you friggin' idiots."
Go look on Bulbapedia.
God damn it! The Zeraora code came out. I haven't added him to my game yet, but I have the code. I'm a bit behind on the codes. I gotta add Pokemon into my games, but I do want to add Zeraora into that. Actually, I might have to wind up sending my Switch in for a repair because there's 2 issues I'm having with it. One is the screen seems to be, it must be bending, but on the left side it's starting to pop out of the wherever the place is called that the screen is locked into, and the left Joy-Con seems to slip out easy. Like, you're supposed to press the button behind it to slip it out. Yep. So on the right one, it doesn't slip out unless you press the button, but the left one, you just pull it, it'll slip out. So I'm thinking to myself, I should probably get it sent in for repair before Pokemon Let's Go comes out because I believe all the games that I currently have, I can back up the save data onto the cloud, except the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, you won't be able to do that. So I'm thinking now is probably the perfect time to set up a repair this way. And I should be free because I believe it's new. I got it last... Did I get it last Christmas? I think I got it. Yeah, I think I got it last Christmas. So, it's under a year. So,
okay.
I already had to send it in for repair once. It wasn't recognizing the SD cards, so that was a software issue. This one seems to be hardware. So, hopefully, I can set that up and get it back soon enough.
Yeah.
So, because I want to continue playing some games on there, but I'm afraid to start because I know I'm gonna have to send it in for repair because I want to send it in for repair and I don't want to start something and then go without it for a while. So, and specifically I want to start one of the maps in adventure mode in Hyrule Warriors because I freaking love that game. I can't stop playing it. And I want to start that map. I think it's the Master Quest, but I feel like once I start that, I'm going to want to keep playing it. And again, I don't want to be without the Switch while I'm like dying to play it. I'm like, I want to play this and I don't have it.
So I can't wait for Smash because the only Switch game I have, like the only Switch game besides like Pokemon Quest and some demos is Pokkén Tournament. And that's fun, but it's like a fighting game, and I'm not really into the combos and stuff. I mean, I'm a Braixen main in that game because she's adorable and amazing, but I really don't play it that often, and so I'm waiting for Smash, gonna get Odyssey hopefully, and there's a handful of others, but I haven't really played my Switch except for Pokemon Quest for the past while now, so I'm waiting with bated breath for Ultimate. So
okay, so there's a couple of things there. One, I didn't even realize, so we need to exchange Switch IDs. So
yeah, dude, yeah.
In addition to that, also Papa Geno's, especially if he's not only just to add him because he's a friend of ours now, but also because especially if he's going to be popping on here and there, how could we not have him? How can GG Gaming not have everybody on their Switches?
Everyone is here.
Everyone is here. It's the ultimate Switch. And the other thing was Pokkén Tournament. I had that on the Wii U, and I think I got everything except for one character. I think it was. I know I unlocked Mewtwo, and that you get him by beating the story, and I think the other was Shadow Mewtwo, which I think you get from beating the highest tournament, maybe. So I was working on that, and then I had stopped playing it. I had the amiibo card or whatever it's called that you
Yeah.
scan to use him, but it doesn't actually save in your character select screen, so you'd have to use the card every time you want to use him.
Oh, okay.
At least on the Wii U. I don't know how it's set up on the Switch. Are they unlocked from
Everything's
the
unlocked. Every single one's unlocked.
start? Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So there's nothing you can actually unlock except
Yeah, it's just like Mario Kart 8
characters and
Deluxe.
stuff.
Everything's just there from the Wii U, plus the arcade stuff like they had Empoleon and Darkrai and a couple other like arcade Pokkén exclusives that they transferred over, and then they added Decidueye as the DX to make it like worth buying on the Switch. So
Okay. Yeah.
and it is a fun game. I mean, they're very different. Every Pokemon plays different, so I just like Breakson style. But
I
what
don't
were you
know
saying?
your setup. Are you able to use a capture card or something to record?
I don't have a capture card.
I know that
Yeah.
Papa Geno does. I don't know what he has them for. I don't know if he has a capture card for Switch. I was talking to him about it. I think he has an Elgato, which is a capture card. And I don't know if he has it on the Switch or what he has it on. But I'm wondering if we could set up something where the three of us can play something like Mario Kart or something. And I said a lot of somethings right there.
Yeah.
Something or something or something. But,
Which I don't have Mario Kart, but I mean, you can.
No,
can
I don't
you play
either.
even if
I
you don't
either,
have the game.
But it's a suggestion. I don't know. We could play any game really. I spoke to him about because I was watching his latest video or one of them, and I saw a Solaire of Astoria amiibo, which is from Dark Souls. I saw it sitting in the back, and I messaged him. I was like, Papa G, you like Dark Souls too? So I said to him, I'm like, we should probably stream Dark Souls, like playing Dark Souls. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but that was a suggestion, and it sounds like it would be pretty cool. I would love to be able to record some gameplay.
Oh yeah.
My problem is my setup is Mac, and I don't know what's compatible with that. So if Elgato is compatible with that, then I could set it up on my MacBook and sit it on a stand next to my my computer, my consoles, and I could stream. But I don't know. So the only other games I can think of talking about on my end, because there was a couple things you want to talk about, and I want to hear them as well. But I picked up a couple of mobile games again, and these were games that I've already had. One of them, I noticed the icon changed on Sonic Forces Speed Battle, and I opened it up just to see, because sometimes I like to open it up and get the new character that they have, and then I usually don't play for a while. But it seems they have missions now, and for Halloween, for the next, I don't know, from October 23rd to October 30th, they have a new character, which is Rouge, in the witch costume. And it sounds like you can only get it from this event. So I was like, oh, I have a reason to play this again. And it in the promotional image for it, it looked like there were two characters. It looked like the other might have been Shadow, but it seems like there's no way to get him at the moment. I really don't know, unless I just, because I saw the image, I didn't really study the image, I just kind of saw it, and I was like, oh, Rouge and Shadow. So I really don't know what's going on with that, but, so I was playing it for a little bit earlier today, and Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key, that was a game that I was super addicted to, and I haven't played it in a long time. And they actually had something that I was both into and not into, where they added the highest, if you upgraded your medals to the strongest, they actually now have an ability to, they now have the ability to unlock them and upgrade every medal further, but you have to get certain tickets for that, and to get them sounds complicated, unless maybe I'm not understanding it correctly. So part of me was like, oh, this is cool. I can make any medal usable now. But then shortly after that, I kind of fell out of it, because I thought, oh, does this mean, like, I gotta grind? So I don't know how necessary it is to, upgrade all those medals. I'm really not sure. But in terms of the story, there's a few new quests I have to play. So the overall story, aside from the filler, quote-unquote filler in that game, is pretty good. It goes over the Keyblade War and like losing your memory and like amnesia. You can actually just look up the cutscenes on YouTube or something, and
Ooh.
it's really cool. That's what I did. I think because there was something where when it was just Kingdom Hearts Key in Japan, when that ended, they brought it over onto the cell phone game where they called it Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. And I think they changed up the cutscenes a bit. So in America, we did not get certain cutscenes. So there's a fan translation of the original Kingdom Hearts Key cutscenes, and that one was what I had watched. And it's a little bit different. It seems like they skipped over something important without spoiling anything. So if you play the cell phone game, you might want to take a look at the fan translation of the original Kingdom Hearts Key. And what I had watched skipped over the quote-unquote filler in terms of the different worlds, and it just showed the main character and situations going on with, what's the name of... I forget the name of the town there. It's always some kind of town. Was it Twilight and
Traverse Town?
No, but the one in Key is like Starlight Town or something. And I feel like an idiot for forgetting this because this is common Kingdom Hearts knowledge here.
At least okay. I don't know.
At least for somebody who played the game, like
Yeah.
I'm pretty up to date on Kingdom Hearts stuff, and it's like Dusk or something. They always seem to be the name of the time of the day in relationship to the sun and moon. All these you know what? Whatever. The Keyblade from there was called the Starlight Keyblade. And just a reminder, I mentioned this once before to anybody who plans on getting Kingdom Hearts 3. There's a couple of mini games in Kingdom Hearts. Well, now it's called Union Cross, which is pretty much the season 2 of the series. But there are some mini games you can play where if you hit the scores, and it's just a matter of continuously playing it. You don't have to like really stress to get a high score, because if you lose, you play again and it adds your scores. It adds all the scores you get up. So once you hit the final score, you get some kind of code where you unlock the Starlight Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 3. So. And that's pretty much it. I talked about Pokemon Go, Sonic Forces Speed Battle, and Kingdom Hearts. Well, now, like I said, it's Union Cross. So I would like to fool around with Union Cross. It's been a while. I've been out of it, and thank God the party I was in did not kick me out. So, so now that I've rambled on about my games, want to talk about the news that you had planned?
The only big things that really jumped out at me this week in gaming, one thing that really made me happy and excited, and I actually saw this on Nintendo Wire's Wiretap podcast, and they are coming out with all 151 original Pokemon as mini plushes,
Nice.
and I love that. I love that. I probably won't. I won't go crazy because they're going to be around $10 apparently. So I'll probably buy a few. Like I'm sure Charizard and Dragonite are going to be two I buy right away, and thankfully Dragonite's in the first wave. But I might pick up Eevee. There's not a whole lot I'm going to pick up because like I would be broke. That's literally like $1,500. So yeah, I can't do that. But I'll pick up a few because I have very personal attachments to Gen 1. That was my first gen. That was what I grew up watching on Saturday mornings. It's got some of my favorite Pokemon, and so like Charizard and Dragonite. So I want to pick up at least a few. And I'm hoping for Gen 5 later down the road because then I can get a Stoutland plush. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think they were planning, because I remember hearing of the plushes, and I wasn't up to date on that. I just remember hearing it a while back. I think they were not planning on releasing them in waves of gens, but just in waves of almost random Pokemon. So if that's true, you might get Stoutland in like the next wave.
I hope, dude. I know they're starting with just Gen 1 from what I saw in that wiretap, but it's just like 20 to 30 Pokemon to start with, and it's got stuff like Ekans, Shelder, Electrode, just random ones, like you said, Farfetch'd and a few others. But yeah, they're just doing it kind of, excuse me, they're just kind of doing it at random. But I'm happy Dragonite is in the first wave, so when he comes out,
one of your favorite Pokemon?
He used to be my absolute favorite, and then Stoutland took that spot, and Charizard sits at a very close second. So Dragonite is one of my favorite
because
Pokemon.
I noticed, I think you had retweeted an image of Smash, and the Echo Fighter you put in was Dragonite.
Yep, for Charizard.
And for anybody who doesn't follow either of us on Twitter, there was some kind of almost like insert your own newcomers here kind of thing. It was a grid where you add in one Echo Fighter, one Nintendo newcomer, one third-party character, and one wild card where it could be literally anyone. So,
and I'll actually be talking about my wild card pick when we get to Elm Omni Alpha's question at the last part. So yeah, I'm excited about that. But yeah, and of course you can check out our Twitters to see our posts. So.
And of course, those links will be in the description below. Who would? I know I just mumbled there, but who would Dragonite be an echo of?
Charizard.
Would he have a somewhat different moveset?
I think they could change up his moveset some, kind of like how Chrom is kind of just an amalgamation. Like, and I was thinking about it, like in the anime, Dragonite's wings canonically change size. Like when it flies, they grow exponentially. Like it's almost like they expand and retract, and they can be really small and just sit on its back, or they can literally extend to carry it because it weighs almost 500 pounds. So,
oh my god!
But so he can stretch his wings to the size of Charizard's for the up smash. He can use his tail as a slap for slam, just like Charizard's side tilt. What I was thinking for an idea for his forward smash, because Charizard takes his head, and because he has a long neck, he has to swing his neck outwards. Well, Dragonite could like lurch back and have the same hitbox, but instead of swinging his neck, he rears back and headbutts the opponent. So stuff like that. And of course, he could like do a ground pound, kind of like Earthquake and stuff. So I feel like it could work.
I actually have a question about Pokemon Trainer now in Smash Ultimate, because I'm actually not sure. When they introduced Charizard in Brawl, or Pokemon Trainer, and Charizard, his down B was to switch to Squirtle.
Yep.
And his forward B was the Rock Smash. When they put him in Smash Ultimate, since he was without Pokemon Trainer, they made his forward B Rock Smash and his down B Rock Smash, and they changed his forward B to
Flare Blitz.
Flare Blitz, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, now that he's attached to Pokemon Trainer again, which of those two moves are they removing?
I've read that it's actually he keeps Flare Blitz. They've totally scrapped Rock Smash, which would work well with Dragonite, because then he could use that for his down smash. So
I like the idea.
Yeah, I'm glad they kept Flare Blitz, because good grief, that's where all his power comes from.
I like the idea of Echo's salvaging lost moves.
Yeah, that's cool.
So Dragonite can use the Rock Smash. Would you prefer that to be his down or forward?
It could work as a forward smash. His side smash, I could see, like where Charizard had Dragon Rush as an alt back in Smash 4 as a custom move. He could do something similar to that, like maybe like Blue Flames or something around him, or something that doesn't recoil, do recoil damage. It's weaker, but it doesn't do recoil damage. And then for up smash, he could definitely use Fly, just like Charizard. But I was thinking for his B special, instead of Flamethrower, even though Dragonite can learn Flamethrower, I would want a Dragon-type move, so he could use Dragon Breath.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Make it Blue Fire. Yeah. And of course, like his Charizard's Claw swipes could function well as Dragon Claw. And there's a lot of moves that the two actually cross over with, like Flamethrower, Dragon Claw, Slash. Charizard sort of uses Slam in Smash Bros. With his side tilt. And just there's a lot of moves that they could incorporate into Dragonite's moveset that it actually learns in the games that also are similar to Charizard. So I think it's unlikely, and I don't think it'll happen, but I would love for it to happen, even as DLC, because we could honestly get Echo Fighters for a lot of characters even after the game is completed. So, I mean, I would, like I said, Dragonite's one of my favorite Pokemon, and it making more sense than, say, Flygon or another winged Pokemon, I would love to see Dragonite. I mean, and Charizard is scaled up some in Smash, and Dragonite could be scaled down some. They have somewhat different body styles, especially with Dragonite's shorter neck and stouter body, but they've sized down Ridley, they've sized up Olimar, so I feel like they could size down Dragonite a little bit. So.
I love how we just always go into Smash.
I know, right?
We were talking about something completely different, and then we just went into Smash. And I don't even remember what we're talking about. Oh, the plushies.
Yeah. But to segue into Smash, there was something else I wanted to talk about, and it relates to Smash. If you guys have been in the Smash leak hype community for a while, there was a really legit looking Geno render that was leaked going around the internet. It has him like looking sassy to the side, almost like a side smash or something in like a blue background. Well, turns out that is fake. It was debunked this leak. The creator came out and said he was doing it just as like an art exercise and just building hype for the game. He did stuff for Dixie Kong, Banjo, Isaac, Skull Kid, and Geno, and I think Lloyd Irving and someone else. And so they're all fake leaks, which is a bummer because that was one of the best looking ones, but I still think Geno's going to be in the game. I was just hoping this would be what he looks like because it looked perfect. So
Sassy Geno.
Sassy Geno.
Sassy.
It's so sassy. Okay. Gosh.
Actually, the past couple of days since I have the Super Nintendo Classic, I've been wanting to play Super Mario RPG because I've never played it before. And so now part of me wants to just play that. So at night I've been balancing, do I want to start that or do I want to draw it? Because I'm also working on my comic. And I was actually productive and worked on my comic. But,
Sweet.
Part of me was like, I really want to start Super Mario RPG. I want to check that out.
How much is the NES Classic?
The NES Classic, I'm not sure. It was the SNES Classic.
That's what I meant.
And,
whatever the little portable thing.
I don't know because I got it for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I think in the store, it was one of the last ones, according to my sister, because she used to work at Best Buy. And she said that it was, I think, like 80. So it was whatever the retail price was.
I think it's under 100, yeah.
Yeah, whatever the retail price was, that's what it was. So
okay. Because I was waiting until maybe they release Super Mario RPG on the Switch, but I don't know if that'll happen. I've been tempted to buy it because I really want to play Super Mario RPG. That's why I haven't been watching Papa Geno's Let's Play of SMRPG, because I want to play it myself before I watch someone else play it, just to avoid spoilers and stuff.
You've never played it before, you said?
I've never played it. I would love to, though.
Wait, so maybe I'm misunderstanding it. You said you want to watch his first, or you want to play first?
I want to play it first before I watch it. That's why I said I haven't been watching his.
That's also kind of where I fall in, because I actually watched a little bit of one of his videos, and then I thought to myself, you know what? I really do want to play this, so I should probably stop watching this. But I'm sure
I have to wait.
Yeah, so I'm sure the majority of people watching it have played it already. But maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe some people either don't have the ability to play it, like they don't have maybe a virtual console or the SNES Classic. Or they just don't have the time, and maybe they figured they would play it. I know last week he said that he was planning on maybe only playing up to unlocking Geno, but who knows? Maybe his fans will say, no, keep playing. So, I don't know. He could tell us next week if he's here next week or whenever.
I mean, I just want to see what all the hype for Geno is about, because I've seen some footage and gameplay of him, and he looks great. I just want to know what all the hype is, why this guy has been requested for 22 years.
I think
he's been absent from 22 years. So.
I'm wondering if it's a mix of two things. One, his design, and two, who he really is in the game. And from my understanding is he's some kind of star from Star Road who took on a character's doll. And for some reason that doll had guns and stuff equipped to it, I guess.
I know,
because I don't think he modified the doll at all. I suppose you could pretend he kind of weaponized it in a sense, but I think that there was a scene, because I was reading a bit about Geno, I think there was a scene in the game before he became possessed by the star that he kind of, I think he shoots Mario in the face. So you're wondering, like, why does this kid have this toy that has a gun attached to it?
And I've been reading some of that too. Like, I watched a video talking about like designing Geno for Smash Ultimate. Geno for Smash. Geno. But I watched a video talking about like his moveset potential and stuff, and they went over the story a little bit, like just kind of introducing who Geno was. And so I have a bit of a taste of who he is. I just want to see like his personality and how he plays and how he interacts with Peach and Mario and Bowser. Right. So I kind of want to save that for when I play it the first time. But I still do think he's going to be in Smash. Like, I don't doubt that for a second. We already got K. Rool and Ridley, and he's the third one that people have wanted for years. So I'm just waiting with bated breath to see him announced, of course, alongside Shantae, Bandana D, Isaac, Skull Kid, all those guys. But I think Geno's a shoe-in at this point.
Me Jinto. Me from Star Road. Me save you wishes.
You sound like an Italian Jar Jar Binks.
I know.
Mister, make you some good the pasta.
Mister, gonna save me your wishes, sir. Make us a pasta, sir. Oh, I can hear my dog barking. Maybe she doesn't like my joke. I'm offended. I'm offended. Yeah, so Geno does seem like a cool character, and I really do like his design, honestly. And I like the blue and yellow color scheme. I believe they are, I mean, I'm an artist, so I should know this term. Complementary colors. Mm-hmm. And blue and yellow are actually used a lot in posters and stuff. So it's an overused color scheme. But the reason for that is because they look nice together.
Mm-hmm. Part of, and it makes sense with him being a star because blue sky, yellow stars. So I mean,
and I think complementary colors, and I could be completely wrong here. No, wait, yeah, I am wrong. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say it because I know I'm wrong.
I just want to see how they texture him in Smash, because we already have like DK who's super hairy, and like I'm sure they'll update Fox and Falco and Wolf a little bit more once the game gets out. But I just want to see the wood texture on Geno.
How funny is it that we always talk about Shantae in Smash, and the one day we don't have Papa Genos with us, we're talking about Geno in Smash.
I know, right?
It's hilarious. Oh man, I'm gonna tell him you missed out on the Geno convo.
Yeah,
but continue about his texture.
I just want to see how legit it looks, because man, like all the renders of like Bowser and all these other characters, like you see every little fiber of hair, you see every scale, you see, it's great. It's so cool to see just how far Smash has come from 64 when they were little chunks on a screen. And I can't wait to see all these characters in high res HD goodness. And it's so exciting to think about that characters that we might not have seen for years and that were like 8-bit or just kind of lower quality designs might get breathed new life into for this game. So I'm looking forward to like Isaac's spiky hair and Shantae's hair and Geno's texture and other characters just to see what Sakurai's take on them is. So I'm excited. As long as they keep Geno's ears small and he doesn't look like a monkey. So.
Yeah, I've seen
some leaked images.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of renders that didn't look so good, and I've seen a couple that looked amazing. So, actually, before we segue into the fan question / comment, I did want to discuss the since we're still talking about Smash, the image that I was talking about before that we retweeted, and you said you were going to talk about your final pick in there for the wild card. So we talked about Dragonite as the Echo. Actually, we'll take turns. So the Echo that I chose was Bass for an Echo of Mega Man. Okay. I would really love to see, as an Echo, they'd probably have the same moves, but I think instead of Rush Coil, I don't think that Bass has a coil with treble. And I know in Mega Man 10, where you can use him, instead of any rush-like weapons, I think he just fuses with treble using the, I forget it, I know it's like a super adapter, but I think in Mega Man 8 it got upgraded, and I think it's like treble adapter or treble boost. I think it's called treble boost, but I'm not sure. And so he has the ability to fly. So I can imagine his up B, where he turns into that adapter and he flies upwards and then disappears from it. Like I can imagine that being a new up B, and I guess everything else could be the same unless they want to recycle any of the techniques from the a Smash for the custom moves. The custom moves. I said thank you as if you
You're welcome.
You telepathically told me unless they want to use any of the custom moves, but then I feel like it's not so much an Echo as it is a new character.
Yeah.
Now I was originally going to say Metal Sonic, and then I was thinking about Bass. For Metal Sonic though, I feel like he would be a pure echo of Sonic because that's pretty much what he is.
Yeah, he'd be almost like Springtron in arms. So
And now I think if Shadow does wind up being an Echo fighter, I think he might actually have like one unique move where maybe he would have a teleport instead of an up B because he uses chaos control.
And he floats on the ground instead of running like Sonic, right?
So his running animation would be different. I don't know if his weight or anything else might change. I don't know if they would adjust his strength, his attack versus defense. But I can imagine him using chaos control, which would be basically Mewtwo's teleport. So, and of course he'd have to use a gun for every special move.
Goodness.
No.
Before we get on to the first party, I do want to shout out Medusa real quick because I was sitting there thinking, I was like, there's not really a lot of Echo Fighters besides Dragonite. And I was like, Medusa, she would be a cool Echo Fighter, I feel like, because I wouldn't mind another Kid Icarus rep. Hades would be great. I think we talked about this in the last episode or the one before that. But, of course, her voice actress has been teasing her a little bit. So she might happen. It's near Halloween. She's a scary character, so she might get announced. I wouldn't mind her one bit. She would be cool.
There was a couple of other Echoes I was thinking of that weren't my top picks, but some honorable mentions. I was thinking Black Doom using Ganondorf's old moveset. And I was thinking about Medusa using some of Palutena's old moves, because I know that her moveset changed a bit, or supposedly. I don't really, and I guess I remember us discussing once before Sceptile as an echo of Charizard, but then you had said Dragonite, which I feel like might be better. However, Sceptile I feel like can borrow from both Charizard and Ivysaur. And I don't think there was any other real major Echo Fighters that off the top of my head, at least. The big ones for me were Base and what did I say? Metal Sonic.
Yeah.
So, but and also before we go into the newcomers, the first party newcomers, are Pokemon considered first party?
They are,
because I think technically they're second party.
They might be, but I just always considered them. I mean, because they're under the Nintendo umbrella. So
yeah, I think now maybe I don't know exactly what the terms mean, but I imagine that second party is basically a company owned by the first party, whereas third party it's not at all.
Okay,
that's my guess. I could be completely wrong with that, but that was my assumption. So I'm assuming
that's a good question. If Game Freak's actually owned by Nintendo, I don't think they are. I think it's just kind of a joint effort between the two.
Yeah,
but I think since Nintendo has their foot in it, they're kind of a first party. It's kind of like Isaac and Golden Sun. Is he technically a first or a second party?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I remember looking at the bottom of the Pokemon Amiibos, and it's a copyright Nintendo, Creatures Inc., Game Freak. And maybe they said the Pokemon Company. I don't remember. But those are the big four names that I always see attached to Pokemon.
Yeah.
So would you like to say your newcomer? Because I actually forgot.
Well, I had two because I was indecisive, and I was like, I would love Skull Kid. Honestly, I think we are highly overdue for a unique Legend of Zelda rep, and to me, Skull Kid just fits that perfectly. He's nowhere to be found in the assist trophies. His effect has been given to the Rambling Evil Mushroom, and he's just a cool villain. And he's actually not just a one-off character. He's appeared in Hyrule Warriors, Majora's Mask, and a couple other games. He's just a cool villain, and I think he could be a really fun, very tricky character to use, but a very fun character. And the other one is Sceptile. I've already talked about this before in the one before we talked to Papa, so it was episode 21. I love Sceptile. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, and it was really popular on the ballot, so I can see it happening, and it's a fully evolved grass-type starter. Now, if Decidueye gets in, unlike what Virgin is saying with Incineroar, I mean, either way, we could get a grass-type starter, and I would prefer Sceptile over Decidueye. I love Decidueye, but I love Sceptile even more. I just like the whole dinosaur raptor thing more than the grass owl. But I love Sceptile and Skull Kid both. They would both be great newcomers. I love them both.
So here's the thing about a final evolution rep for grass. I feel like Decidueye is more unique in body shape because and abilities because it would be an archer. But I actually really like Sceptile. My first starter when I played Emerald it was Mudkip. And then when I played Omega Ruby, it was Trico, because Sceptile just grew on me, and I just love this giant. I just love this giant green gecko thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like Sceptile too, and I think they could borrow some of his moves, especially if they made him a newcomer and not an Echo fighter. I can see them borrowing some moves from his Pokkén Tournament, because I really do like the Vine Whip swings, like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sceptile, man. But I don't know if I would want to see him as an Echo fighter or a unique fighter, but there's a bunch of Pokemon, because there's so many Pokemon to choose from.
Oh yeah.
There's way too many that a lot of them, a giant majority of them, would do really well as newcomers or Echo fighters.
Oh yeah, dude. There's so many. I mean, Machamp, Hawlucha, Gengar, Gardevoir, Zeraora, Tapu Koko. There's just Blacephalon, Buzzwole, Pheromosa, Alolan Marowak. There's just so many. I need Zarina. There's so many I need to talk about. I was going to talk about, I actually was going to do a Pokemon video. I think it's kind of past that time now, because I feel like with the month left for the game to be released, we're going to get the Pokemon announced. So by the time I get it up, it'll be like, oh, it's obsolete. So, but that's kind of my, if I could pick 5 Pokemon to be in Smash, like that are actually likely, not like Stoutland or anything like that. Zarina, Sceptile, Zarina, Sceptile, probably Gengar, maybe Machamp, and like I would love to see Buzzwole or Pheromosa to represent the Ultra Beast for Gen 7. And I feel like Incineroar is going to be in, not just because of Vergibin, but also because of its overwhelming popularity and its fairly unique design, and being a grappler and stuff. So those are the guys I would love to see. Sceptile and Zarina way above everyone else, because she's a female rep. She's cool. She could be unique with kicks and high jumps and stuff. And then Sceptile would be awesome because it's Sceptile. So
now, I don't know completely, but I sort of assumed that maybe the cast of Pokkén Tournament consisted of popular Pokemon.
Oh yeah, it seems that way. I mean, Chandelure is in, so I mean,
yeah,
and it's one of the best Pokemon in there.
So I'd imagine that any newcomers or Echo fighters for Smash in terms of Pokemon will most likely be from the Pokkén Tournament character select.
Probably so.
Plus or minus here and there. I'm sure that it doesn't have all the popular Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think
I would argue for some's popularity. Like, I feel Weavile is actually very popular, and same thing for like Suicune. Empoleon's pretty popular, but it seemed like such an odd pick. I mean, it's pretty good. And of course Scizor makes sense, Darkrai makes sense, Gardevoir makes sense, Braixen makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of Pokemon in that game that really deserve that spot on their roster. So I feel like they, like you said, they could earn their spot in Smash simply because of popularity, because I mean, we've seen it with Greninja, and we'll probably see it with Incineroar, and of course Mewtwo. They're popular Pokemon that they push not just in the anime, but in the games. I mean, how many games feature Charizard, Mewtwo, Lucario, Pikachu, and all those guys? So I feel like popularity does play in a Pokemon being added.
I wouldn't say 100%, but
I mean,
because I also know of them being in Smash based on uniqueness. I was trying to think of the word.
And also relatability to like what's going on, because Lucario and the Mr. Mew came out at Brawl's time, so they had Lucario. And of course, I'm sure Sakurai has somewhat of a sense of, this Pokemon will be popular. I mean, he could have probably never known Greninja would be as huge as it is, because it was voted the #1 most popular Pokemon in Japan. So, I mean, I feel like Sakurai does his own thing. Like you said, uniqueness and moveset potential, but design and somewhat popularity, I do think play into it.
Yeah, because I was thinking Plusle and Minun were originally going to be characters, so I don't see them as super popular Pokemon, but they would have worked well off of any Ice Climber assets, as well as I think them being somewhat relevant at the time because they were new. But yeah, I don't know if they plan on updating Pokkén Tournament anymore with DLC or making a sequel, but with the new gen coming out, I wonder if they would consider adding more Pokemon. I feel like they would have to add Zeraora and Incineroar.
Probably, especially Incineroar. Incineroar would make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
and then have Meltan as an assist Pokemon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I can see that.
mhm.
Now, my newcomers for that grid was the same. It was Skull Kid. But it was just Skull Kid. And I really couldn't think of any Nintendo first party that I really wanted.
Yeah. Yeah,
'Cause
like,
a lot
I mean,
of them at
Dixie
this
Kong
point
would
are
be
pretty
great,
much
but
in.
yeah.
Yeah, Dixie, I feel like she might be, and a lot of people don't want this, but I think she would be an echo fighter of
Yeah.
Diddy using Donkey Kong's up B with her hair.
Mhm. I would love to see Funky Kong too.
Yeah.
Primarily more as a unique fighter. He could be DLC. Who knows, man? Sakura is crazy. I would love Funky Kong. He's just a cool Kong. He's so unique. Yeah.
Yeah, so third party, I think we're both in agreement, Shantae.
Shantae.
But you also
Yep.
added in somebody.
Oh yeah, I added Sora because my boy, telling y'all, that's the two I want. If I get those two and my wild card, I'm set for life.
See,
And like Sora seems, and I love it because, of course, the evidence points to Shantae possibly being playable, and there's even stuff for Sora potentially being playable. And I'm so excited for both of them, and I hope they both get in. So I've already talked about both of these enough. So you go on to your picks.
Well, my other third parties would probably be Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh yeah.
Or I think there's someone you said. Oh, I would love to see Geno in just because at this point I've heard so much about him and I'm curious about him and I think his design is really cool. Again, I don't know from any nostalgia or anything because I didn't play the game, but just from seeing it from outside of the Super Mario RPG fan base and outside of the Geno fan base, looking in, I think he is a really cool character. So I would love to see him as third party. Not at the top of my list, but definitely up there. So since we started with you, do you want to talk about your wild card?
I do. I'm crazy.
And actually,
I know.
You said that this goes hand in hand with the fan comment. So, question.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay. So I guess I will read that question and then you can talk about your wild card.
Okay.
Because I actually forgot who your wild card was.
Okay.
So this one comes from our MVP, El Omni Alpha. He says, if you can add a third, I think that was a mistake, a third party character to represent an aspect or genre of gaming, not a company, that isn't in Smash already, who would you pick besides indie, and for what? Like action RPG, FPS, horror, rhythm, puzzle, survival horror, strategy, visual novel, open world, etc. Just anything that's tied to gaming, like Ken representing clones. So any genre but mascot platformer. Oh, whoops, I minimized that. Mascot platformer, action platformer, turn-based character, RPG, hack and slash, Metroidvania, 2D fighter, stealth, arcade is fair game. So you're really cutting out a lot of good,
yeah.
genres there. And I guess the reason being because in parentheses next to them, he lists characters who are already in.
Yeah.
Mascot platformer, Sonic is a mascot platformer. Not the sole mascot platformer, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming he just gives an example. Mega Man being action platformer, Cloud being turn-based character RPG, Bayonetta being hack and slash, Simon Richter being Metroidvania. Obviously, Samus is also Metroidvania.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I think these are just examples. Ryu for 2D fighter, Snake for stealth, Pac-Man for arcade. So you have a wild card that you said is tied into this question, so I'd like to hear it. And again, because I completely forgot who yours was.
Well, if I had to pick from those genres, I would pick first-person shooter and go big
Oh,
or
now I
go
remember.
home with Master Chief from Halo. I know it sounds crazy, but I watched the dude's video on YouTube, and I'll send you the link on Skype so you can put it in the video description, because oh my gosh, this dude gave me so much hope for Master Chief being playable, because his moveset that he made up, I was like, holy cow, this would go so well in Smash. Like, he would be, like, he had a great idea of, like, if you've played Halo, you know that there is, like, an armor mechanic, and, like, your health will regenerate after time. Well, this guy implemented that into the gameplay because, like, if you have a full bar of armor, you take less knockback and less damage. Well, if you're on the blinking red armor and your armor starts getting depleted, you take more knockback and more damage. but you can camp and your bar will restore and you take less damage and less knockback again. So, and of course he does have a shotgun and he does have an assault rifle. But at the same time, we have Bayonetta and we have Snake. Bayonetta uses magic bullets and Snake uses grenades, rocket launchers, and all kinds of C4 explosives. I don't see why we can't incorporate a gun into Smash now. We have blasters, we have throwing knives, we have people that literally bite you and burn you with fire and throw you down off the side of the stage in Ganon's side. And we can't have a gun in Smash. I think it's time to add a gun. That's just me. Plus, Chief, I feel like you could have some moveset without his assault rifle, but that is like his thing. That is the first thing you start with in Halo. So that's like taking away Shantae's hair whipping ability or Mario's fireball. It's part of who he is. And I feel like Sakurai could incorporate it to a moveset. Plus, I have just such a tight-knit bond with Chief. He's just one of my favorite video game characters of all time. And with, Microsoft and Nintendo being chummy, I feel like if we get Banjo-based roster, that only helps his chances because Chief could make Nintendo and Microsoft so much money. I feel like obviously Banjo could as well, but I feel like if anybody deserves the roster slot, it would obviously be Banjo because of his ties to Nintendo, and the Master Chief would just be like, hey, we're just doing fan service, just have him for the heck of it. So I love Chief, and he's such a cool character. And if we're doing gaming icons like Mario, Sonic, Pac-Man, and Cloud, Master Chief absolutely deserves a spot on the roster. So that's my 2 cents on Master Chief and why I want him. I love Chief and I love Halo and he'd just be such a cool character.
I don't know about. I've never played Halo, so I don't know. But
like I told you already, it's a really good story based. There are other games that have good stories, but I love the just atmosphere of this, ethereal, otherworldly plane instead of like a World War II battlefield. It's like in space 500 years in the future, and he's a super soldier that was literally ripped from his parents as a 6-year-old and trained to be a butt-kicking superhero, and he's like saved the universe multiple times. He's just such a cool character. It's such a cool series. If you guys watching haven't played Halo, I recommend check it out. I would recommend start with like Halo 4. Halo 4 is my first like Halo game I played all the way through, so it's.
You don't need to know anything from 1 through 3 going in?
You can do. Obviously 1 through 3 applies a lot, but like, just like aesthetics and visuals and just story and all that, I love 4. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, and a couple of the other like filler ones are good too. I watched my brother play through those because he got the whole Master Chief collection, which had everything featuring Chief. So that was pretty much all the main 5 games and like 1 or 2 side ones. So yeah, Chief is cool. Halo's cool.
So my wild card does not is not the answer to this question. So I'm gonna have to answer both. So my wild card is the obvious Marina Lightyears from Mischief Makers. I think she would work perfectly in Smash Bros. We really don't have, off the top of my head, a grappling character, and a lot of her moves in the game are dashing and grabbing and shaking. So I really think she would really be a perfect fit in that game. To answer Elam Omni Alpha's question, I have 2 off the top of my head. One is horror or survival horror. Where I'm thinking a character from Resident Evil, and I don't know which one because we have too many protagonists in that game. I don't know if they would go. It would probably have to be one of the big 4, maybe, in terms of Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy, Jill Valentine, or Claire Redfield. And I'm sure some other characters would fit in too, but I think that those are probably amongst the most reoccurring characters throughout the series. Okay. Obviously, there are others like Ada Wong, Rebecca Chambers reappears here and there, not as often, and Albert Wesker was a main reoccurring villain who's now dead, but I think that the main 4 from old school that still continue to be in the game today are Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield.
Chris Redfield.
Yeah, Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. Plus or minus a couple other characters. Now, I don't know if I would just pick one or if they would all be alternate costumes, almost like the Koopalings.
Oh, that could work, yeah.
So I can see like one of them being the main one, and then a couple of other characters being like the Koopalings of that character.
That'd be cool.
Now, the only thing is they have different body types, but if they rely on a lot of guns and a couple of close quarters combat and stuff like that, I could see it working. Because any of those four characters can use the same gun, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even though certain ones have their own guns, but if it's, say, for example, they have a handgun as B, or your special, or just as an example, they can each use their own signature handgun. So I can see that.
Yeah. It would look like theirs, but it would do the same thing. So.
My preference for the pick would be Jill Valentine, only because she's one of my favorites, and we get an extra female rep. However, I think that Chris Redfield and Leon Kennedy are probably the big ones.
Who was the first protagonist overall?
Well, here's the thing. The first protagonist was two characters because there was dual scenarios. You can be Jill Valentine or Chris Redfield.
Okay.
And then,
so they started it off.
Yeah, and then when Resident Evil 2 came out, it was the same thing with Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield. That's why I think those four would be the main ones. Resident Evil.
Now, are Claire and Chris married or brother and sister?
Brother and sister.
Okay.
Claire's story in Resident Evil 2 is she came to the city looking for her brother, and then the zombie outbreak happened.
Okay.
And I don't want to go too much into that because I know the remake is coming out, and if anybody didn't actually play the game, then I don't want to spoil it for them because I think the story is going to be the same with little alterations here and there. Resident Evil 0 was a prequel, and they used Rebecca Chambers, who was in Resident Evil 1, but not as a playable character. She was a supporting cast character, member, whatever. And the other character in Resident Evil 0 has never appeared since then. His name was Billy Cohen. And then Resident Evil 3 used Jill Valentine. Resident Evil Code Veronica used Claire Redfield. And funny story, they actually... Code Veronica was supposed to be Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 3 was supposed to be Code Veronica, but they winded up because of their their licensing or whatever. They had agreed with Sony where they had to put their main titles on PlayStation systems. They swapped the titles for the two. So Code Veronica, because it was on I think Dreamcast as well, that winded up being Code Veronica instead of Resident Evil 3. Okay. So Resident Evil 3. The official Resident Evil 3 Nemesis was supposed to be a spin-off. So, they're both canon, but it's just weird how that turned out. But Jill was, again, Jill and Claire. Resident Evil 4 was Leon. Resident Evil 5 was Chris. So we have these characters, coming back. And 6 had some new characters as well as Chris and Leon again. And then 7 was a new character, but, Chris was in the story as well at one point. And of course there's all these spin-offs with some new characters, but a lot of the same main four keep reappearing. So I feel like those are the four big ones. And then I could see, since there's usually 8 costumes, I could see any of the other 4 being that. Because I don't think they would do Echoes. Maybe. I don't know. But I think that would be pretty cool as a horror fighter, survival horror fighter. And the other idea I had was Goku as anime fighter. Because it does fit a different genre, but he did not originate from games. So I really don't know how viable that would be as a wild card. Or not as a wild card, as a wild card it's viable because anything goes. But for the answer to this question, I mean, is anime fighter a genre?
No, not. I don't think it is.
I don't know.
Because I think it'd just be fighting game. I mean, of course, anime oriented fighting game, but
anime game, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think the best answer I could, because that was my initial answer, and then I was looking at some of his suggestions, and I saw horror, survival horror, and I was like, oh, Resident Evil. Because some of the others I could think of characters for, but not necessarily characters that would probably work on in Smash for the sake of being they were never on a Nintendo console or anything. Kind of like with Master Chief. But I mean, if I were to ignore that open world, I would love to see what's her name from Horizon Zero Dawn? Oh shoot, I forgot her name. But I love that game.
I have no clue.
For someone who absolutely loved that game, I can't believe I forgot her name.
Would Tomb Raider count as open world, or is that more like exploration? Because I think Lara Croft would be cool.
I don't know because I haven't played the games.
Same.
But open
Lara
world
Croft
is
would
usually
make
like a
sense.
giant sandbox, like Breath of the Wild.
For rhythm, I wouldn't mind Hatsune Miku. I mean, she's kind of like a video game character. So, I mean, of course, she's a Vocaloid, but she's always been virtual. So, and computer related. So, I mean, Rob was computer related, and he got in, which, of course, he's a video game character. I mean, a Nintendo character. So, I mean, I've seen people bring up Hatsune Miku. I was like, no. And I was like, wait, that would actually be kind of cool.
How about, and I've seen her as a popular pick on some fan ballots.
Yeah.
Arlie from Puyo Puyo.
Yeah.
For a puzzle rep.
I've seen her name come up. Yep.
Yeah. So,
because I think Lip has kind of been deconfirmed because her lips stick is still an item in Ultimate. So
I mean, it doesn't necessarily deconfirm, but I mean, it
help
probably
her
doesn't
chances,
look good. Yeah, like for example, are there any other characters who have items? I mean, we have the Bomb Chew that doesn't deconfirm Link, and he's the only one who uses the Bomb Chew in the games.
But he doesn't use the Bomb Chew in Smash. So it'd be like if the Master Sword was an item, he'd have two Master Swords. So she'd have two lips sticks. So
I see. Is the Home Run Bat a Smash exclusive item, or is that from? Because I kind of think of the bat that Ness uses.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because I really don't know Earthbound and / Mother. I don't know like anything of that series, and so I really don't know if the Home Run Bat is from that or not.
I think it's a Smash exclusive, but I'm not sure. I would think
so.
Because the Super Scope is actually an old Nintendo toy, so and they just incorporated it into Smash, or some kind of adapter for a game or something. It's something game related. They just brought it into Smash. Like, hey guys, look. There's a lot of like Smash exclusive items. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's any from a character that the character uses, and off the top of my head, I can't think of any.
The Tanuki, the leaf that Mario uses.
Yeah, but Mario doesn't use it in Smash.
True.
That's what I mean. Is there a character that uses something in Smash that other characters have access?
The Shocky power up smash thing Samus uses as a power-up item. So, I mean, that kind of
yeah, that's true.
That kind of counts.
Yeah, I guess so.
Because then you could do three instead of just one.
There's probably people yelling at us right now saying, what about this one? What about that one?
The banana.
Yes, banana.
Yep.
Maybe is there any food? Any characters have food in their packs? Like Diddy Kong has the peanut, right? I think sometimes you can eat it.
Yep.
I know Peach pulls out items sometimes, but that's different.
Mm-hmm. She can use a Bob-omb at random.
True. Did they remove that when you remove items?
I don't think so. I think it's just kind of like usually she'll pull turnips with different faces, and there's just the off chance she'll pull a Bob-omb, and I think they keep that even if the items are off. So, because it's like directly tied to remove set, not if items are on or off. So,
okay,
but that actually couldn't hurt Lip's chances too bad. So
yeah,
I mean, hey,
that's what I'm thinking. So I think we pretty much went over the fan question, but there's a couple. I'm thinking of starting this episode just reading a couple of quick fan comments as well.
Okay.
Because we get a lot of comments now that aren't necessarily questions. So I don't know. I mean, I have all the comments open right now. I don't know if you do or not.
I don't. I can.
Well, you can if you want. Because we're pretty much wrapped up, but I want to maybe mention a couple of comments. One of them is from Olive Lovey, who says Shantae is not going to be in Smash, and everything you guys said is such a reach. Thank you, Olive Lovey.
Thank you.
I didn't know you could see the future, but at least you took the time out of your day to tell us that. So, I have a comment here from Breton Boy, who says this is a pretty cool podcast. Would be cool to be on it. XD face. Thanks, Breton Boy. Once we get things established, I would love to start bringing more people on as guests or potential other co-hosts. But right now, I think we're just trying to establish something first. But one day maybe you could be a guest on here or a co-host down the line. Who knows? No promises because we're still trying to find our own footing here. And I think there's one more I want to say is actually I don't know. I have a lot of we got a lot of comments from Cole N, but he mentions a lot of almost like responses to our videos, like asking about Goku and Mario commercials. So I'm gonna give a shout out to Cole N. So thanks, Cole N. You and Ella Mommy Alpha, you two always comment on our videos. So thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
Or woman, or whatever you identify as. It's fine with me. Any comments that you see? I might have covered I think I covered the quickest ones.
I was actually looking on Instagram. Someone had caught me a shiny Sigilif in a giveaway, so I was checking that real quick. Let me see. Let me pull up GG Gaming.
Oh yeah, I'm not checking Twitter because I never.
That never happens.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should check Twitter.
Yeah.
Are you checking Twitter right now?
I'm checking.
If you check the hashtag and if there's anything new you can say. Other than that, what?
I did love a Young Spirits comment that he left. If I can read that.
Go ahead.
And I actually will be mentioning this in Shantae Part 4. So just a shout out real quick, Young. So thank you for leaving this comment, by the way. He says, with the level of respect some of the employees of WayForward have for Nintendo, I would be very surprised if they tried pushing them around through their fans. Matt Bazan actually said that Nintendo did know pretty well that they were fanboys and wanted Shantae and Smash, so that they didn't need to remind them in their weekly calls. It should be in the Retronauts podcast if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I'm tempted to believe that they could impose on themselves some exclusivity as a token of recognition instead of being under contract. James Montagna in particular is considering himself as Sakurai's disciple. He shared the picture of Sakurai giving him a thumb up, following up their exchange on Kirby as a motivational, as well as a selfie with him. He also has pictures and autographs from Miyamoto and Iwata he got when he was very young. He calls him Sakurai-san in the indie representation and Smash podcast with Source Gaming. I actually remember watching that, and that's true. I love that idea of WayForward just not being under an exclusivity contract, but doing it out of the goodness of their heart and the gratefulness to Nintendo for adding Shantae because they love Nintendo so much. That seems like something that they would do, and I hope that's true.
Is that
that's
thunder
awesome.
right here?
It's a plane.
Oh, okay. I was like, it's raining there.
It's raining, man. No.
Hallelujah, it's raining. Actually, I like this as a segment of the show. Just reading a couple of comments.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I wanted to do initially, what I was telling you about, and I think I said this on the show, was I want to include community interactivity, and so I've only listened to a few podcasts, so I don't know how many do this or don't do this, but I think from now on, like at the end of the show, after any questions, we just go through a couple of comments that stick out. Not necessarily the best ones, because we might just overlook some other ones, but if we didn't read your comment, it doesn't mean, I didn't like it or anything. I'm just kind of skimming through these. Mm-hmm. So,
and of course, we're trying to be as time savvy as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Cause we're pretty much at the end. This is the end of the show right now. Ridley,
also a shout out to all you guys who tuned in, even if it was just for Papa Gino's. But we have over 770 views on this podcast episode, so thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thank you, definitely. And like I said before, Papa Gino's is planning on popping on the show here and there, so he will be on and off. we have no idea in advance when he will, but Alpha and I, we are the main hosts, and Papa Genos, as of right now, he's going to appear on and off whenever he can. He couldn't make it this week. If he's here next week, he's here. I won't really know until maybe the day before. So, and that's fine. You know, things come up. Everybody's busy. We couldn't really reschedule this week because we're all pretty busy. So we'll see. Maybe next week it'll be the three of us, or it'll be the two of us. So who knows? Ridley Crade 187 mentioned what Papa Genos was talking about. He says, something I thought of a while ago in regards to a Nickelodeon Smash. I think the Rugrats character could be kind of a Bowser Jr. situation, a character called Reptar and Rugrat, where you just play as Reptar with a different baby on top, and each alt would have a different baby. Kind of sounds like some of the propositions I've heard of Yoshi, come to think of it. As popular as that series was, it'd be weird for them to not have a fighter, and that's the best way I think it could have one. I like that idea. Reptar with a random baby on it. And Alpha, Call N asks you, so when's the next Shantae video going up, Alpha?
And I've answered this with a few people, but I'm aiming for this weekend. So it's not going to take as much editing, so it should be up. I've already started. I'm probably about 10% of the way through, so maybe 5 to 10, but that's just being generous. But I have started working on it. I'm going to work on that as soon as I get home from this podcast. So I'm trying to shoot for this weekend. So hopefully no big Smash news will come up, so I can work on just that Shantae video. So, but I do have more coming, so stay tuned.
And then basically before we end, there was 2 other comments that I just wanted to address.
Yeah.
Cole N says Goku Black turns rose, which it's pronounced rose, but it's difficult to say that in comments because you have to use the E with the slash above it. Anime is Zamasu, which I remember last week or the week before when we were talking about Dragon Ball Fighters. The English anime Funimation dub says Zamasu, and the Viz manga, I believe, is the one that says Zamas without the U. And he says, I like Android 21 Good and Evil. Me too, dude. Android 21's an awesome character. I hope that if they make an arc in the future, they could incorporate Android 21. And the other comment I want to say was, a young spirit says, cool ideas for new characters, Papa Genos. I agree.
Oh, yeah.
And that's it for comments this week. Oh, yeah, and as I promised, I was going to give some shout-outs to people who followed my comic series on Tapas. There was, I don't know if it was since last week, or if it's as a result of this podcast, or if it was people who just came across it on Tapas. So I'm going to give those people shout-outs anyway. So whoever begins following my comic, I'm just going to give them shout-outs from their usernames over on Tapas. So I believe there were 3 people. There was, I don't know how to pronounce, Faumi. He subscribed to Spirit Legends. Thank you, Faumi. As Zifri, he pretty much liked almost every single page and then followed me. So thank you so much, Zifri. And Dark Librarian, I don't know if you were subscribed to me before, or if you just liked the page, because I'm looking in the recent activity feed on Tapas. You liked the page, and you are a follower, so thank you. So those are 3 people I was going to give shout out to, and if I missed you, just let me know. Oh, here's another one. Colin R. Hunter also subscribed to Spirit Legends. Yes, Dark Librarian did subscribe on October 5th, along with Azifri and Colin R. Hunter. So those are the 3, and then Found Me subscribed on October 15th. So to the 4 of you guys, thank you so much for following me on Tapas Spirit Legends. Yes, you're following Spirit Legends. Subscribe to Spirit Legends. Blah, 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 blah. So thank you so much for that. You guys are awesome. And as promised, if anybody else wants a shout out, I just follow. Go check out the blah 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 blah. 3, 2, 1. I keep messing up, man. The links will be in the description. If you want to check out Spirit Legends, which is my comic series, or any of the other comic series, you can check me as a user connected to the Spirit Legends link, whatever. The Tapas link is going to be in the description. You can follow the comic there, and I will give you a shout out based on your username from there. If you want to say in the comments who you are on Tapas, I will give you a shout out if I come across that comment. If I don't say it, it's because I didn't see it. So I will do my best to give you a shout out as promised. So that's pretty much it. Alpha, where can they find you? Aside from the links in the description. Or you can repeat
just
them.
YouTube, Twitter, Discord. You guys know the drill by now.
Yep. Same here. My links will be in the description because I'm
Check out Spirit Legends.
Check it out.
Watch it, read it, like it.
Yeah, watch it, read it, like it. That reminds me of Family Guy. What is it? Think It, Love It, Do It, or something like that. The book that Brian wrote, and it was a blank book. Think It. Whatever. Wish It, Think It, Do It, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, all the links will be in the description, and if you want to leave a comment, we will try to say it, I guess is the word I'm looking for. We're going to go through just random comments as we see them. Same with questions, we'll probably get the priority, because if you give the hashtag GG Gaming over on YouTube or on Twitter, we will do our best to read that, as long as we don't have like a million questions, and we can only really do a couple. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If not, then I'm sorry. And
and provide your constructive criticism.
Yes,
too.
Provide your constructive criticism. Because we all know Shantae's not going to be in Smash and everything.
Oh, totally. Yeah, we're a bunch of dreamers and weeaboos who want a girl just for her boobies. So yeah.
Come on, Olive Lovey, be nice. Be nice. All right, guys, that's it. Take care. See you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Sassy Geno.
Sassy Geno.
Sassy.
It's so sassy. Okay. Gosh.